Hello, Steve Arts 89. Well, I wasn't going to comment on this, but things seem a little odd. Lady Gaga performed in Rio at Copacabana Beach, the same location Madonna performed in for the last show of her celebration tour, and there are conflicting reports about how many people showed up. Now, Madonna had 1.6 million people. The other comparison people were making was Rod Stewart had supposedly had 3.5 million, but that was actually him attending a New Year's celebration that they do every year, and there are other artists there as well, so it wasn't a standalone concert. So Madonna had the highest number for a standalone concert. And now the first lot of numbers were 2.1 million, which I was a bit surprised by, because I'm like, how does, a beach, the capacity for a beach increase by like, what's that, like a third or a fourth or something in just a year? And then it jumped up to 2.6 million. And that very suspicious number actually came from the city of Rio, who's paying for this and promoting this. So naturally, they're going to be likely to, be very generous with their assessment of the, people that showed up. The first number was, I think, by a objective media source. So it's probably closer to 2 million, which is more than Madonna's show. But I'm not quite sure how they're counting this, because I'm pretty sure Madonna's show just counted the people in the actual staging area. I don't think they even tried to count all the people who were like in the general area and sort of on the edges of the beach and stuff like that. I don't think they even tried. Whereas I think Lady Gaga did that. And I think the only reason why she did this, I mean, aside from the fact she's just pathologically obsessed with, she's just has to be Madonna and copies everything she does, and has to try and beat her because she knows she's always going to be compared for her. Madonna's the first, the best, the queen. Gaga, doesn't matter how much she does, she can sell more records in theory. She hasn't yet. She can have more people show up at concerts, but it doesn't actually mean she's the queen. She's just following. And that's really, I think that gets in her head, and she's a bit obsessed with it. So yeah, I would really like to see an objective breakdown of these numbers, because I don't believe for a second that there's more than 2 million people on that beach. And I'm pretty sure Madonna had more than 1.6. I think you'll find that they only counted the people in the actual staging area, not like the whole beach, which is, I think, something they did with Rod Stewart as well. They counted like the whole beach somehow, and I'm like, not just like the actual staging area. So I think there's a little bit, I'm curious to see how this is actually, actually counted. But yeah, the show looked fine. I mean, it didn't look particularly amazing or special. It's just, a performance like Madonna's. Costumes and dances and all that. And the weirdest thing was Lady Gaga did a rehearsal like the night before or 2 nights before, and she practically staged the concert. And people were already there, and that's another thing, they gave a lot more time, because another thing I saw someone point out, which I think is fair, is Madonna did her concert at the end of her tour. It was a surprise, no one knew it was happening, and a lot of fans just couldn't get there because they'd tapped out all their money on the concerts. They had spent all their money and their airfare flying around the world to the actual concerts. And I have friends who didn't make it. Madonna super fans who didn't actually make it to Rio because they just didn't have the money or the time to plan it. A lot of them had already planned to go back to work and stuff like that after taking a lot of time off to tour. So the fact that Gaga put it at the start of her tour, where a lot of people can't get tickets because of the obscene, what do they call it? Oh God, there's a term for the pricing where they just charge an excessive amount because they think they can, which Lady Gaga has no shame of, charging her little monsters excessive amounts for, because people are always going to pay it, but usually with other artists in the past, they've paid scalpers that money. Whereas now they're doing it officially, they're scalping officially, and they're getting huge prices for tickets that, yes, some fans will pay. And I honestly, I can see Gaga's having a comeback at the moment, which I don't understand, because her career was dead a couple of years ago. And I'm wondering exactly whose baby she sacrificed to Satan to make this happen, because this is not natural. You don't flop out for a couple of albums and then have a comeback like this, although the argument is she basically went back and reheated her nachos from the early days, and she's just doing Gaga again. And because she had enough space away from that persona and that music, that she's managed to have a comeback. Whereas most other artists like Madonna, they slowly move away from their sort of first sort of inclination and first version, and you can't really go back to it. But if you totally abandon it, like Gaga did, where she tried to do something different for a couple of years, and then she's come back to it, it's a different approach. So it's had a different reaction from fans. I don't know what the term is, but it's 5 minutes. I'm going to go. Feel free to share, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I think these numbers are a bit suspicious. We've already got different numbers from different sources, and I'd really like to know how they actually counted these, because Gaga just went there to top Madonna, so I don't think she was ever going to have lower numbers, even if she didn't actually have the bigger audience. So I want to see those numbers.